Here's the character that I sculpted this week. I made him out of Magic Sculpt and Super Sculpey. Stick around, I'll show you how I did it. And here's the painting that the character was based on. And I got to get him down to the right size, so here's my trick for doing that. I'm going to scale him. Okay, so that's around 3 inches high. So we're just going to trace this guy out. So this is how I scale things. In the olden days, we'd use a lucograph or some other kind of projector. Work principle is exactly the same. Save yourself a lot of time scaling drawings to size. And this trace is accurate enough for our purposes. It's going to let us design whatever armature we need. It's going to be beautiful. I am inclined to comp this guy up out of oil clay just to sort of see what he's going to look like. This stuff's pretty hard when it's not been softened in the microwave, so let me go soften this in the microwave. Okay, cool. That took 1.5 minutes in the microwave, and now it's nice and soft. So let's make this piece really fast. This is strictly a comp. This is just to see what this boy is going to look like. Sometimes forms work really good in drawings, and then you put them in 3D, and you're like, wow, wish I hadn't done that. Ooh, oh my God, he's cute. Look how cute he's going to be. Pretty spectacularly magnificent, if you ask me. That's what we're going to make. Let's make him today and get him going. You don't have to go too nuts on the old armature building, that's for sure. That's perfect. You don't need any more than that. So all we're going to do now is kind of coat the armatures with this clay. This is very, very rough and quick because this is the preliminary thing. I'm going to build it in layers. Just easier. So lazy. I like to do everything quick and easy. Quick and easy. All right, now we are at the point where the tack has worn off. It's pretty leather hard now. That means we can roll it around, smooth it out really nicely. I also broke out my handy plastic stamps. They're just bits of plastic that I've collected, and they make excellent eyeball stamps, all kinds of shapes. So we'll be using those in a little bit. Meanwhile, I can now handle them. So I can make tusks. I might make a few different lengths and shapes and sizes of tusks. That would be kind of fun. So that's that one. Let that. This one I've already got kind of bent. Same with these eyeballs. Now that these eyeballs are this, we're pretty close. It's about how big these eyeballs want to be. Okay. Again, they're just at the right stage for stamping and working. Stamping and working, because they're not sticky. They don't get mushy, but I can still push them around and shape them. They're like, right now it's about the consistency of firm Sculpey. Okay. Now, ooh, liking that. Nice. Okay. And then we want another one. So nice. Perfect. Perfect weird little eyeballs. Okay, eyeballs, tusks. We're coming right along. We're zipping. Let's lay some clay on this. Magic Sculpt's great because it really sticks to itself. No worries about that. It really does. What you need to have handy is you need to have some water handy, because it helps to smooth this stuff. Like when you get it up close and you want to blend it out, unlike polymer clays, which you cannot blend with water, epoxy clays do blend with water. All right, that takes care of that part. Let's set it aside. Beautiful. Now, let's build the base. It looks something like this. So I like to start with the ball, because if you start with the ball, you get rid of all the lines and stuff. Now I can start to shape it up into a cone. Okay, that's pretty close. Well, here's my base. And what I did was I took a blob. I'm going to tell you what I did because I didn't get any of it on camera, but this is the base I'm going to go with. I didn't like this base, but I like this one better. I think it fits the style of the piece better, and it literally took me 2 minutes to make. I just wound a coil of clay around And that gave me some lines that you can still see in there. And I mashed it all down, then took this tool and just did it. Isn't that great? What a fine piece of video where I do stuff off camera, then I tell you about it later. Oh well, that's how I did that. Sorry about that. Onward we go. This trunk isn't working for me at all. So let's make some modifications. See if I can wire cut this now. One of the good things about Magic Sculpt is that it's carvable, cuttable. We'll keep the head and change the trunk. Now all that's left is a horrible, mangled, bloody stump. But what that's going to let us do is make a whole new, brand new, beautiful trunk. After sanding, I go through and I fill in all the low spots. You can see them. They show up as like little dark patches on the piece, and you just need to go in. You can sand and sand and sand till you're blue in the face, but it's a lot faster to just go in there and patch fill those areas, build them up so that they're now high spots, and they'll sand out real smooth and easy. You repeat this process a couple of times. Sand, patch, patch. You do that a couple of times, and you're going to wind up with a piece that's nice and smooth. All right, that's going to have to be good enough for the time being. We'll see where that winds up. All right, got the clay fresh out of the microwave. Nice and hot, nice and warm and beautiful. So we'll condition it up, and then we're going to make this, which, believe it or not, is the trunk to the elephant. I'm going to start making the trunk by rolling out a ball and then rolling the ball into a cylinder. See where we're at. Oh yeah, we're pretty big, but that's good actually, because you can always use extra. It's easier to cut away than it is to add more. I put this notch here because that's exactly, you can kind of see, I hope, how the trunk is gonna lay onto the head like that. And now we're pretty close to having the right mass of material. It's just a matter of getting it nice and smoothed up, shapely and pretty. And then we're going to bend it before we bake it. All right, so I've just been smoothing basically. Nothing but just smoothing it out more or less. Getting it to the right shape. I think we're very close to where we want to be. And now we're gonna curl it. So obviously what we want to do is bend it into a curve. So I'm going to cut a bunch of notches in the clay. A series of them. I think the key is to really cut them in deep. Let's see if this is going to work. Come on, let go. Okay. Oh, that might actually work. That might actually work better than I'd hoped. Very, very good. All right. I think this is going to go into the oven more or less like this. We'll see what nonsense we've come up with. Well, that came out of the oven pretty good. So now we're going to marry it to the face like that. That's fitting pretty good. Nothing that the wad of 5-minute epoxy can't deal with. Okay, let's mix up a small amount of 5-minute epoxy. Those look about the same to you? Close enough. All right, I'm going to let that sit for about 1 minute before I put it in place, because I don't want to hold the pieces in place for the whole time waiting for them to cure. All right, that's sat for a minute. Just a short minute, not too long. Let's just slam the glue on there. I don't like to stand there holding the thing till the glue sets. I've got both surfaces really wetted out well. So now I'm going to wait. It's 5-minute epoxy. I'm going to wait a couple of minutes, and I'm going to check it every couple of minutes. And when it's really tacky, then I'm going to put the parts together. I can go off and do more productive things while I am waiting for the glue to set. Otherwise, I've got to stand here holding the two parts together for a while. I'm not doing that. Put this on there. I'm squeezing it on. And see, I don't even have to hold it. It just grabbed and stuck. I sandwiched the wires inside the ears. Let's just trim the wire off because we don't need it to be any longer than that. That's going to be plenty strong. Here's the thing. I have mostly spent my career not sculpting with clay. Most of my commercial pieces have been sculpted in either wood or wax or foam. In other words, rigid materials. So I'm used to working with materials that I can add material to, take material away, sand it, file it, machine it, do all this stuff. There's no right, there's no wrong. There's just another way to work. So you do whatever suits you, but just know that it's perfectly possible to rework cured Magic Sculpt just as well as you can work any other kind of rigid material. After I've shaped it up for a while, I hit it with 800 grit wet paper to bring it to a nice finish. So here's the head at its current state. Just going to finish him out in Magic Sculpt, get these pieces all joined together, and get this head done. Okay, I'd like to get some super glue down into that crack down there. See if this will even work. Just put a drop in there. Oh yeah, that flowed right on in there. Good. All right, so that filled up nicely with super glue. We'll let that sit, and yeah, that's going to be super strong. Great. While all that stuff's curing up, let's go ahead and see if we can't make some water droplets. To make the water, I'm going to start by rolling out these little blobs, and then we want to roll them into these little water droplet shapes. Now I've let them sit for a while to harden up. It's just simply a matter of gathering them together in a little arrangement, kind of like that. Kind of arrange them. Now I'm using an odd number, as I like odd numbers of things in arrangements and compositions. And then it's just a matter of kind of rolling them together. And that's pretty much how I made the water. Let's see how we're doing here. Let's see. That'll be all right. It's not crucial that it go in perfectly straight. Let's just go ahead and use a piece of aluminum wire. About that long should do us. Now I just need to straighten it out. It's always fun. Okay, put this on there. Put this in there. Nice. Put this on here. Beautiful. All right. All right, let's drill this hole. Let's see if a disaster strikes. We're almost seconds away from disaster around here. Away we go. Yep, that's about right. Let's take a look at the angle. Yeah, I got my angle pretty good. All right, he's assembling up nice, coming along with the assembly. All right, now what I want to do is I want to drill out these tusk holes. Okay, got that one. Okay, I'm pretty sure you get the point about drilling. I went around and off camera, I drilled all the necessary holes so that we could assemble. So all the holes are in so that we can assemble the piece. It goes in there like that. And there's your ear holes. They fit in there nice. Beautiful. So we've got all the holes drilled. I didn't think I needed to bore you with hole drilling. And now the major step left to go is simply to finish out this head. All right, making good progress on this piece, getting it sanded up and smoothed up nice. And then we just have a few small parts left to do and we can assemble. Here's the spray of water that's going to go flying out of his face. And is the end of the trunk his face? Anyway, it's kind of the spraying water out of his trunk. But this tenon, this shape is too big. So I'm going to whittle this down. Start that whole process. I'm just simply going to use an X-Acto knife and whittle it down and then smooth it. Once I get it whittled down to like a little bigger than 1/8 of an inch, maybe, I don't know, like 9/64ths or some crazy size like that. Okay, so I'm hitting the water spray with a little bit of sanding here. Let's see what we got. Let's see how close we are. I feel like we must be pretty close. And stick it in. How are we doing here? Oh, yeah. It's just a matter of what angle we want it turned at. That's pretty humorous. All right, cool, good. I was a little bit worried that the water spray would block the eyeballs, but it doesn't look like it's gonna. It looks like I made it head wide enough so that the water spray will be on either side. Okay, because we have to. Let's just do it. Let's put the ears in. Oh, I mean, come on, magnificent. It's just so far beyond magnificent. We've gone this far, right? Might as well go all the way. Hey, hey. Okay, tell you what, I'm gonna put them all together properly here. Okay, so what's left is a cute little smiley mouth and eyebrows. Wow, what a mess, huh? Let's see if I can't just push this mess aside so I don't have to change the paper to make those last couple of little parts. All right, so now we have to make up our eyebrows and our little mouth. So let's just roll out a worm of clay. So we'll divide into pieces. Okay, so let's sharpen one end of each one of these worms. And then I'm going to cut them just for fun at an angle. Like that. Yeah, I'm thinking these look pretty much exactly like elephant eyebrows. So that's good, all right. So I've made this mouth about 17 times now. I mean, it's too small, too flat, too something, too whatever. So we're just going to keep fighting with it until we get it right. This is what we're going to do. Like that. Okay, so I'm going to bend it in a slow arc, like that. And then I'm going to use the old wire trick. Let me see if I can bring you in closer for the majesty and the glory that is this mouth making. You don't want to miss out on this. That's for sure. You really, really don't want to miss out on this. That would be bad. All right, just press that on in. That looks pretty good. What does that look like? What precisely does that look like? Now, if this thing's going to lay on this face right, it's got to bend. It's got to have a compound bend to it, no doubt. Well, let's just see if I approve of my own work. All right, this boy is done. I think he's ready to prime and paint, and maybe I'll even mold some parts off him. Who knows? Look at this guy. Oh my God, he's so fantastic. Reminds me of Dobby a little bit. Maybe it's just the ears. Anyway, I got this adorable little mouth. I can do all kinds of great things with him. He's got his little spray of water. I'm like Leo Ritardo da Vinci. This is the Mona Lisa of adorable elephant cartoon sculpture. It's fantastic. Right now, he's not glued or anything. He's just stuck together with blue tack. And the reason I do that, of course, is so I can do things like change out his expression. The whole point is he comes apart like a puppet. Change out his mouth. I can change out his eyes. And I'll be able to swap out the parts and have all kinds of fun with them. All right, I put him on a turntable so he'd look extra fancy, like a wedding cake. Hey, thanks for sticking through the whole video. I really appreciate it. I hope you got something out of it. I hope you liked it. And I'll see you next week.